boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. All right. We are live in full effect. Let me see here. This is. Don't know if I can see my live from here. Can I? I can. Okay. All right. A little bit late, but we are here. A little bit late, but we are here. Alrighty. Okay. A little bit. I'm just sending out the live. Get some folks in here. All right. All right. Good evening. Good night. Hello, everybody coming in. If you are here, I appreciate you for being here. My name is E Pierre, or you can call me Coach E Pierre. I am your certified empowerment coach, dedicated to assisting you with having better discipline, confidence, and diving into the deeper aspect of what self-love really looks like. Welcome in, everybody. If you are on YouTube, I appreciate you for being here. Hey, sis, welcome in. If you are on Facebook, I appreciate you for being here. If you are on the King of Self-Love YouTube or your Monumental Podcast YouTube, I appreciate you for being here. We are not streaming on Twitch today, but I will post it on Twitch so that way you guys can check it out over there. Today's topic, it's a quick one, right? But it's a deep one at the same time. It's regulating your confidence, right? Regulating your confidence, understanding your confidence, trying to put the confidence back into your character and your personality, right? What does that mean to regulate your confidence? Well, it means a lot of things for different people, right? Everybody's confidence or the situation with their confidence is different. You know what I'm saying? Some people lose their confidence due to bad relationships. Some people lose their confidence due to lack of self-love. Some people lose their confidence due to things that they dealt with in their childhood. It's all different for everybody. But the concept of building and regaining your confidence is the same, right? And it's just really being honest with yourself, right? And just being real with yourself. That's the number one thing that makes building your confidence easier, right? Is being real with the things that you're struggling with and being honest with the things that you're struggling with, right? One of the other things that people struggle with when it comes to confidence is people pleasing. We know a lot of people that people please, so we ain't gonna act like we don't know what that is, what that looks like, what that sounds like. We all know what that is as adults. We do too much for people that don't care, or we care too much about people and do for people that don't deserve it. Right? People pleasing. You overdo it. So I don't really got to go into the definition of it because we know what it looks like. We do it all the time, right? Some of us, even the people that are healed or healing or in a better aspect, still people please in a sense. It's just not as on a higher level as it would for others that aren't doing the work, right? For the people that are doing the work, they know how to minimize the people pleasing, right? Simple. Say no. I'm not doing it. And don't give no, you have to give no explanation of why you said no. The answer is no. Period, point blank, right? So we're going to talk about people pleasing. We're going to talk about over talking, and we're going to talk about being defensive. Mainly the defensive part, right? Because a lot of people, when they're being defensive, they feel like they need to explain. They need to justify everything. They need to protect that ego that they have, right? They feel like they need to protect that. They feel like they need to make sure that that stays intact. But confidence oftentimes is very silent, right? When you have true confidence, you don't need to show it to the world. The confidence is for you, not for everybody else. You don't need to show the world that you have confidence because that's just looking for validation. Because if that's the case, then you really don't have true confidence. You're just a person looking for validation, right? So, in regards to the people pleasing, a lot of people not realizing that doing too much for people that don't care, right, can oftentimes ruin their confidence. And in a better aspect of putting it out there, right? Think about a group of friends that you have, right? That you do everything for. You're there for them anytime they need you. Anytime they're going through something, you pick up the phone. Every time they're going through some type of issue or struggle, you're there to make sure that they get out of it, right? All the time. But when it's time for them to be there for you or reciprocate that energy or reciprocate that same love, they don't do it. So you lose not only trust, but the confidence to want to be there for other people, right? So that's another aspect of losing confidence. Losing confidence, it doesn't just have to do with self. It has to do with losing confidence for people, having losing confidence to try to progress and do things in regards to your life, gaining the confidence or having the confidence to actually start a business or doing anything of that and of that aspect. But all of that stems from somewhere. And that's where people struggle when it comes to understanding your confidence or regaining your confidence and regulating it. You have to know where in that moment of your life or situation or circumstance where you lost your confidence, right? And let me remind you, there's layers to confidence. So confidence is not something that people just lose completely. It may be a portion of their confidence that they lost. It's not full aspect of their confidence. You know what I'm saying? So ask yourself, if you're here watching, in a moment of time in your life where you felt like you lacked confidence in something, right? Think about the memory behind it, right? I know a lot of times we try to run away from it. Today, let's not do that, right? So that way we can actually get a better understanding of where that stems from. When you think about losing lack of confidence, right? What memory do you equate that with? For me, I would say trusting people, the people pleasing. For me, I used to people please. I had to be there for everybody. I had to support everybody. I had to have everybody's back. I was there for everybody, right? I was there. I was there to rock for everybody. Every time somebody needed me, I was a phone call away, a text message away. I'd hop on the bus. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have a car. I don't have a car, so I'll hop on the bus. I'll hop in an Uber. No matter what, I'll be there for that person, right? But the energy was never reciprocated, and it bothered me because I'm like, damn, I'm doing all this for people, I'm rocking with them, I'm supporting them, but they can't even do that for me in the slightest. Forget about the capacity that I'm doing it. I don't ever expect somebody to do it in the capacity I'm doing it in. But even in the slightest, you couldn't even offer that hand. Your hand, you couldn't even put your hand out for that. And that right there made me lose confidence in people. Like I can't trust you to be there for me. You know what I'm saying? I can't trust you to be there to rock with me the way that I rock with you. So for me, that's what that is. Like if you think about the things that you've been through and the things that happened in your life where you felt like you lost confidence, where do you feel like it came from or it stems from, right? Another thing that we do is over talking, filling the silence with everything else, but actually communicating, right? You're not communicating anything. You're creating a void. You're filling the void, right? With either you're trying to manage your anxiety, right? To try to manage the stress of not being able to effectively communicate the way that you want to communicate, right? Not understanding that You trying to fill the void is not working on the confidence. You're just filling this up with just minimal things or minuscule things that are not going to help you regulate or grow. You're just putting things into this box, right? You're just stuffing things in the box. The confidence is all the way at the bottom of the box. You're just stuffing things into the box, things that you need to do, just saying things and talking things and having conversations with people that you don't need to be having. You know what I'm saying? Screaming things out to the heavens that don't need to be screamed out. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do anything possible except actually communicate the things that you're struggling with, right? In regards to your confidence, understanding the lesson behind why you lost your confidence, right? Going back in time to deal with the situation at hand so that way you can gain the experience to better understand why you lack confidence, right? Remember, confidence has layers. You have people, you have yourself, and then you have your future, right? The business, starting a business, getting a job, going to school, right? Those are the the progression, the career aspect of confidence. Going to school, business, work, etc. Right? Then you have confidence in people, losing lack of trust. You know what I'm saying? Not being able to hold people accountable when they don't do shit that they're supposed to do. Overly people pleasing, right? Those things. That's the people aspect. And then when it comes to yourself, it's just the overall not wanting to get up and get out of bed. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever you're struggling with, you don't have the confidence to get out of bed. You lack the motivation. You lack the, you know what I'm saying, the umph that you need to really put yourself out there, right? There's many things that really play a role. And one of the biggest things I see is people being defensive. You don't have to explain yourself every single time you're going through something or you feel like you're being attacked. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to jump to defensive mode every single time. You don't have to. It's not necessary, right? Trying to justify or put means behind something, right? And allowing your ego to really take over versus just letting it be what it is, right? Sometimes being silent and not saying anything is all the confidence you need, right? Let people create the narrative that they want to create. Let people say what they want to say. It doesn't really matter what people think, right? I've said this to you guys a lot. I've actually posted a video saying this. What people think about you don't fucking matter, right? It don't matter. Because when we start to listen to external things, that can literally mess with our confidence level. Because now you're allowing this thing, I call it like a parasite, to gain access to your brain and and just starts to just formulate and grow. And it's not even your ideology, it's somebody else's ideology, and it's just growing in your head, right? It's just growing, just expanding and expanding. And it expands to the point where you can't even think for yourself. You're just allowing all this external shit to really regulate and dictate the things that you do instead of actually sitting there and realizing, man, I had it all along. But for some reason, because of the things that I've been through in life, I can't seem to get it straight. Let me take a step back and sit back and analyze the things that I've been through so I can figure out what's keeping me in a stump. It's not, don't be scared to be uncomfortable, because that's where you figure things out. When you start to be uncomfortable, you dive into spaces that you need to dive into so that way you have a better understanding of yourself, right? And when you do that, you gain the tools that's necessary. You gain the lessons behind the things that you missed. You gain the experience and the wisdom, right? And when you have that wisdom and when you have that, it's very difficult for you to not be confident, right? Because now you figured everything out. You've gotten to the end point of the things that you're struggling with, right? And when you get to that point, now things start to look a little bit different. You're no longer defensive, right? Now you can stand with your chest up, nice and puff. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to allow your ego to take over. Now you're formulating logic, right? You're not letting your ego, you're not letting your emotion take over. You're thinking confidently with logic. Like, I don't have to explain myself to you. I'm going through what I'm going through. Cool, but I don't have to explain shit to you. I could just do what the fuck I want and move how I want and get the things that I need to get done in my own space and silence. Why do I need your validation in order for me to have confidence in myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to ask yourself that question when things like that happen. Like, why do I need somebody else's validation just to feel good about myself or to start this business? I got the skills, I got the things that I need, I got the money, I got the funding, but yet I need their options, I need their opinions, I need their validation to pull this trigger to make this thing happen. Like, no, I don't. I'm just gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And then if things go wrong, then you learn from your mistakes and you do it again. That's it. That's pretty much it. You don't allow somebody to even make you feel like you don't have it when you do. And even if you don't have it, right? You can figure out how to get it in regards to your confidence. Like, you know what I'm saying? If your confidence is not at 100%, don't worry about it, right? You can make it happen. In order to make that happen, just you got to understand yourself. You got to know yourself a little bit better. That's really what it is. Understanding your confidence is knowing yourself, is knowing the things that you're capable of, knowing the things that you can actually put together for yourself, not for anybody else, not for anybody else to dictate, not everybody else to have an opinion on, not for anybody else to even congratulate you on, right? Or to celebrate you. You don't even need none of that stuff. It's cool. It feels good when somebody's able to celebrate you, but you don't need it. You don't need it, right? Because there's people that look for all those validations. Like, I need people to see me. I got to be seen. And a lot of times that stems from childhood. They weren't seen as a child. They had to perform just to be seen, right? So they lack the confidence to be around people, to do things on their own. So they need to be seen. They need to perform. They need to show that they can do something, and everybody has to see that they can do it. And to be honest with you, that's a scary thing, man. Because there's no way that you can move forward like that and think that life is going to be what you want it to be. Because your triggers are going to take over, your trauma is going to take over, the things that you're struggling with inside is going to prevent that confidence to shine the way that it's supposed to shine without you even having to show it, right? So you have to figure out where that comes from, where the problems stem from, the underlying problems, right? Usually it's the inner child, guys. Yeah, I know y'all have heard me say that before. It's the inner child that really plays a role in a lot of this stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? When you start feeling discouraged, when you start feeling tired, and you just like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like when that confidence collapse and you start really questioning yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really causes you to go into protection mode, right? Now you feel like you have to protect yourself from everything because you don't have the confidence to just stand firm. So now you go into this protection mode. You're fighting everything, and you're arguing with people, and you're doing all of these things that are not productive. And when you look back at it, right, you're thinking to yourself, "There's no way that this is okay." Because we all have had that moment of where we sit back and we analyze, right, and we're just like, "Damn, this don't look right. Something feels off about this. Like, why am I acting like this? Why am I doing this?" You know what I'm saying? I never used to care about what people thought about me. But now for some reason I feel like I really gotta get that. I really gotta get people's opinion on things. And I never was like that. I was able to just put myself out there and do what I need to do, and things will work out the way that they're supposed to. But now I can't even do that. Well, if we think about it, There's many things that can play a role in that, right? I think one of the major things that play a role in a lot of people's confidence is the relationship aspect. And I told myself I wasn't going to talk about this, but I feel like we should, because a lot of people jump into relationships or friendships, situationships, side ships, all the ships, right? Um, and thinking that they can control the narrative of the situation, right? They think, if I do this and I do that, if I do my part the way I'm supposed to do my part, you know what I'm saying? This person's gonna reciprocate the same energy that I have. They're gonna do everything for me that I do because I'm doing it for them. In most cases, that's not the case. Most time, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? So when you find somebody that doesn't really rock with you the way that you rock with them, and things play a role where they now it's like they're showing their disloyalty, they're showing that they can't be trusted, they're showing signs of infidelity. I don't like this conversation, guys. I'm being honest with you. Um, but we have to have it, right? It's uncomfortable. But when they start showing signs of infidelity, start doing these things, now after that breakup, you don't want to be in a relationship no more. Been cheated on. They hurt you. They did all the things, right? Now you got to figure out what you're gonna do next. And half of the time, when people say they don't want to be in relationships anymore, they're not doing any self work. Can we put that out there, right? Since we're talking about progressing and being better, you know what I'm saying? When they lack the confidence to jump into another relationship, it's because they haven't put in the work. They haven't healed from the heartbreak. They haven't healed from the pain. They haven't healed from the infidelity. They haven't healed from any of that stuff. So they haven't really repaired. That's the word. They haven't repaired their confidence to get back out there. You know what I'm saying? So they have to sit back. They have to focus on the things that they need to focus on. Figure out what went wrong in the relationship. Not as much as far as blaming themselves, but everybody plays a role, right? There's always two parts to a situation where things play a role. So, what did you allow in a situation that you shouldn't have allowed? What red flags did you ignore in the aspect of the relationship? How many times did you ignore something that went wrong and allowed it to keep happening, right? Because think about this. Imagine somebody constantly disrespecting you, right? And you just brush it under the rug. Oh, they got to change. It's going to be okay. They'll eventually change, right? They'll eventually, you know what I'm saying, get the picture, right? But they constantly do it. And then the more that they do it, you keep forgiving them. Every time they do it, you forgive them. Every time they do it, you forgive them. And the next thing you know, your energy is now showing that you just don't care anymore. Like they're gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? I still love them, so I'm gonna be with them. That confidence level, shot, shot. You know what I'm saying? Because you just constantly allowed it to keep happening, right? Now, when you finally leave and you start recognizing the things that you allowed, not you did wrong, but what you allowed, right? The things that you allowed. And you start working on building the boundaries and the expectations for yourself where you no longer allow these things to happen. That confidence starts to build a little bit because now you're working on yourself. Now you're getting the tools and the boundaries where you're not gonna let people play in your face. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, you back out there. You're back out there healthy. You're back out there with the necessary tools that you need. You're back out there able to recognize the red flags. You're back out there recognizing that, there's certain things that you're not willing to allow. And that's okay. But you got to stand firm on that, right? But the thing about confidence is there's also discipline that comes with that. Like you got to be disciplined in your confidence, right? And when you have discipline within your confidence, that means you're standing firm on said confidence. There's nothing that's going to be able to diminish that. There's nothing that's going to be able to penetrate that confidence that you have. everything that you, because you've put in the work for that confidence to be what it was or be what it is. You know what I'm saying? From what it was. So let's put this in layers, right? You took the time to figure out what went wrong. Step one, right? You recognize and you were aware that something went wrong, and you took the time to figure out what went wrong, right? Whether it was a relationship, a friendship, you know what I'm saying, some childhood wounds, whatever, right? It could be any of the three, it can be something else. But we're going to stick with that since we're on a mental health show, right? So those main three things a lot of times is what people struggle with: the relationship, inner child, friendships that went wrong, right? Once you figure out that our origin of where your confidence fell apart, now you could start repairing your confidence, right? You can start repairing it. You can start building on that origin, right? Because now that you know, you can't be ignorant to it, right? You can only be ignorant once. Everything else after that, it's a habit. It becomes, it becomes a pattern. Now that you recognize what it is, now you can build on it and you can actually focus on regulating your confidence. You're going to build that up. You're going to gain the boundaries that you need. You're going to gain the tools that you need. You're going to actually set standards, not just for yourself, but for other people, right? You're going to create a healthy level of routines in regards to your confidence that you will not falter from. And people will ask, right? Or people are actually, most likely people are not going to agree with the fact that you're doing this, right? So we'll talk about that. Oftentimes, you have individuals that will start to question the things that you do for yourself, right? They're going to say that you're being weird. They're going to say that you're acting funny. They're going to say that you're being fake. You're probably going to become the villain in their story, right? That's usually what ends up happening when you're starting to focus on yourself and starting to do these things to try to make yourself be better, right? You become a villain for some odd reason. When you're trying to be productive and positive, for some weird reason, you become a villain in somebody's story. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. But what I tell people is, you have one or two things that you can do. You can either continue to do what you're doing, or you can embrace the villain and also continue to do what you're doing. It's one or the other. Because either way, you're still gonna be the villain, no matter if you ignore it or not. So let me be the villain in your story if that really what bothers you. The fact that I'm actually trying to be productive and do what I got to do for myself, right? Or do what you got to do for yourself, so that way that my confidence is not in the toilet. That I can actually stand on my own 2 feet and not have to look for validation from left, right, up, and down, from Jerry, Tom, Tim, and all these other people to help me build that. I can actually look at myself in the mirror and say, I know who I am. I know the struggles that I've been through. I know the things that's happened to me. I've accepted them. I'm working on them. And I know the things that I've been through don't define me. When you can build that level of confidence for yourself, can't nobody stop you. It's a scary thing, right? Because there's a level of balance to it that you create, because you've been through what you've been through. You've seen all the negative and the chaos and the bad, and then you start to build that confidence, and now you start to see all the good, right? The grass is greener on the other side situation. Now you have a level of balance to your confidence, because it's just like, all right, I don't have to show my confidence to everybody, but I know I can handle starting my own business. I got the skills, I got the capita, I got all the things that I need to start this business. Let's start this business. Let's make it happen. I don't need anybody else's thought process of validation on me starting this business. I know what I want to do. So you start the business. Start doing what you got to do. You put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's good criticism but bad criticism, guess what? It's still good information because you know what you need to work on and you don't what you got to fix and what's good. Not all information is good information, but you can dictate and regulate, right? But the fact that you put it out there is powerful because your confidence allowed you to do that. It wasn't your friend saying, "Yeah, let's do it," or it wasn't from your family saying you should do it. It was just you and you alone that said, "I know this is gonna work. I'm gonna put it out there and see what happens." You know what I'm saying? And that right there is a beautiful thing because most people will be like, "I'm gonna do this," and then when it's time to do this, they get cold feet and be like, not gonna do it. I don't feel like I could do it. Their confidence is like it starts to diminish a little bit because they be like, they're a little scared. They got the fear. And it's just like, I don't want to do it. I'm good. All set. Maybe next time. I'm gonna wait till next year. I know we've all heard people say that. I'm gonna wait till next year. I'm gonna do this next year. I'm gonna wait till it's the right time. I'm gonna wait till the right time to do this. I'm gonna wait till the right time to get it done. When is the right time? When will the right time ever come? When will the right time ever come? You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta ask yourself that, especially for people that say that shit. I'm waiting for the right time to get this done. I'm waiting for the right time to put this product out. I'm waiting for the right time to start my business. I'm waiting for the right time to go to school or to look for a new job. I'm waiting for the right time. But that time never comes. That time never comes. And the more that they tell themselves that, the less confidence they have. Imagine that. Imagine that. The more times they say that shit to themselves, the less confidence they have. Because the more they say that shit to themselves, the less time the more times they say it to themselves is the amount of time they're actually not gonna do this shit. Like it equals out. I'm gonna start this business. Didn't do it. I'm gonna go to school. Didn't do it. I'm gonna get this new job, but didn't do it. I'm gonna put myself out to date. Didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stop popping out kids. Didn't do it. That's a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a dry joke. But it's real because that's what happens. People say things and then they don't do it. They don't stop doing it. You know what I'm saying? They just either don't do it or they keep doing it and it doesn't work. But confidence, right? Regulating your confidence and understanding your capacity and the things that you're capable of helps you be able to put yourself out there without needing the validation or the external love and support of others. Because, great example, I wouldn't be able to be doing this shit if I listened to other people. I wouldn't be able to have a podcast and do the things that I do if I had to listen to other people. I'll never do this shit. I would never be on camera, right? I would never host that I've been hosting for the last 5 years if I listened to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never be able to do this shit if I listened to other people. This would have never been a thing. I would have just been just a regular person. That's it. I would have never put myself out there if I listened to other people. I just did what I had to do. And if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? If it didn't work, I figured out a way to try to make it work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that my confidence didn't hit a plunder if it didn't work. It definitely did. I'll be honest. I'll be real. but I pick myself back up because I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at caring about people. I'm good at wanting to see the good in people and making people, want the better for themselves. I know I'm good at that. So I do what I do. I enjoy what I do. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to be confident in themselves and not need validation of others. I want people to understand that they can do things and they can put themselves in the forefront of being positive for themselves without needing anybody. Like, why do you feel like you need somebody? You know what I'm saying? To do these things. And when you start to recognize why you struggle with that, like I said, finding the origin to where that falls apart, to where your confidence falls apart, so that way you can learn how to regulate it, right? And I want to give you guys a little bit of give just some practices on how to regulate your confidence on a daily, right? So I wrote a couple of notes, so bear with me. One of the things that you can do is pause before responding instead of reacting, right? Not everything needs a reaction, honestly, right? Take a step and just woosah before you blow a gasket, before you throw things out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? Try to take a deep breath before you do anything that you're going to regret, right? Because the moment you react out of just careless thought process, you're gonna sit back and you'll be like, damn, I didn't even need to do that. You're absolutely right. You didn't need to do that, but you did it anyway. So guess what? Now you got to fix the problem that you started because you decided to react without even thinking, without pausing, without regulating, right? Breathe before you do anything out of pocket, right? You see, I'm glad I did the breathing part because breathe before explaining yourself, right? How many people we know, right, that feel like they gotta explain themselves so much that they're talking so fast and they're just spewing out a whole bunch of nonsense and shit that it sounds like they're talking like a cartoon. Like always talking, just constantly talking. Don't take a breath. Just keep talking. But nothing that's coming out their mouth has any substance at all. Like like it has no substance whatsoever. It's like it doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And when you tell them to breathe, they'll be like, I am breathing. But are you? Because you didn't even let me get a word in. You spewed out a whole book before I could even say hello. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? So before you decide to fly off the handle with your words, because words do have power, word of mouth, make sure that you breathe. Take a deep breath. Analyze your thoughts before you release them. Before, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to put nothing out there that's gonna make you look worse than you already look with the things that you're letting out your mouth, right? You don't wanna add on to what people think about you, even though what they think about you don't really matter. But in the aspect of this conversation, which you just releasing things without even asking the person if they're ready for that conversation or not, right? You're just releasing and just talking and just spewing out whatever you're spewing out. You don't even ask the person if they're ready for the conversation. You don't even ask them if they're in the mental space to even hear what you have to say. You're just releasing these things and thinking that they're just gonna be able to handle it. And oftentimes they can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, there's ways to handle these things, but one of those things is definitely breathe. Analyze your thoughts before you release anything out your mouth. Okay. Don't let your mouth move faster than your brain because we do that too much. Analyze, be logical with your thought process. Before you release it, ask yourself, does it make sense for me to release it? Does it make sense for me to let this out right now? Most likely not. You know what I'm saying? And you know it, even though you're gonna try to tell yourself that you don't, but you know it. You can feel it inside. Your energy, your gut, your body will tell you, don't do this. But instead of recognizing and listening to the cues that your body and your energy is giving you, you do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. Listen to the cues on your body. Your body will tell you everything you need to know. Your energy will tell you everything that you need to know. If something's happening, you feel like you gotta defend yourself, and you gotta put some level of aggression, or have to tell somebody what's going. Listen, your body will tell you everything. You might shift a little bit, your chest might tighten a little bit, your stomach might start to feel a little queasy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some type of cue is gonna happen. And you have to not ignore that cue, because that cue is telling you, no, don't do it. Don't think about doing it. If you're thinking about doing it, just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because the moment that you do it, you realize all that tension, all that stuff is gone after you do it. It's because you ignored the signs, right? You ignored all the signs. But hey, I'm just a guy. I don't know I just know some things. You know what I'm saying? Be able to sit and be able to be uncomfortable. Sit with your discomfort, right? A lot of times when it comes to building building yourself back up and regulating things in regards to yourself, in regards to your mental health, in regards to your self-love, you know what I'm saying? Not just the whole going to get a haircut, getting my hair did, getting my nails did, ladies. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, you're gonna get a haircut, sit at the barber shop, have a conversation with the fellas. Cool. Do that, right? That's a part of it. That's a very small part of it. But but when it comes to really building your self-love and building what you need for yourself, is usually sitting with yourself, right? Sitting by yourself, sitting with yourself, remaining silent, and just thinking about your thought process, thinking about the things that you've been through, not running away from the uncomfortable conversations that you have to have with yourself, right? Standing in the mirror and recognizing that you are not the person that you're supposed to be in today's day and age, right? Understanding that. So that, and then working on those things to become better. There's a lot of steps that goes into this, right? This is not just a one step type of situation. This is a forever thing, to forever be growing, to forever being better, to building that confidence so that way you can look yourself in the mirror, and the reflection that's looking at you is the person that you're supposed to be. That's the goal. You never want to not recognize the person that's looking back at you in the mirror, because that's when things get scary, because now you're trying to figure out, which person am I supposed to be? Is it the person in the mirror or the person I'm currently being? And most times it's not the person that you're currently being, because there's some things that are missing, right? There's some triggers and traumas that we didn't work on. There's some cues that are off. Confidence is lacking. You know what I'm saying? Loving yourself is lacking. Understanding your triggers and traumas are lacking. The tools lacking. Shout out to the people that actually put in the work, that went to therapy, got some coaching. Even if you did the work yourself, right? I'm gonna give you a shout out, because it's not an easy thing to do, right? To do the work yourself is not an easy thing to do. And if you did that, and you came out on the other side, and you were able to regulate everything that you needed to regulate on your own, I give you your flowers, because that's not an easy thing to do, right? But for the people that are not able to do that, and you went to therapy, and you got coaching, and you got mentoring, you know what I'm saying? You picked up a couple self-help books, and you took some notes, you started applying these things, right? And you started really trying to regulate yourself. I'm proud of you, because that's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. but it's doable. But you have to sit in your discomfort. You have to be uncomfortable in order for any of this to be possible. Because the things that you are going to learn about yourself, it's going to be so profound and it's going to be unrecognizable because you're currently not that person at the moment. And when I say you're going to lose a lot of people in the process, man, listen. The amount of people that you lose in the process of you trying to be better are a lot of people that want to control who you are as a person. They're going to want to control, they want to control the narrative of who you are as a person right now. So they get to control your confidence level. They get to control your emotional level. They get to control all of that, right? But the moment that you break free and actually start doing the things that you need to do for you, ooh, let me tell you, it's a beautiful thing. Because can't nobody stop you once you start doing that, right? So I know I explained to you guys boundaries are important. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say boundaries are important because boundaries is literally your confidence in action. That's what it is. When you have healthy boundaries, that's your confidence showing in real time, right? That's probably the only part of your confidence that I would say you need to vocalize is your boundaries, right? I feel like that's the only part of your confidence that you really need to vocalize is your healthy boundaries because obviously nobody's a mind reader. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give people that nobody's a mind reader. So if you do have healthy boundaries, it's okay to vocalize those boundaries. So that way they know what they are and moving forward, being the fact that you vocalize them, if they even attempt to step over those boundaries, now you have a decision to make. You have a decision to make after that. Because are you gonna continue to let them play in your face? Or are you gonna check the situation the way that it needs to be checked? And obviously you could check it in a very healthy way. You don't have to do it disrespectfully. You know what I'm saying? You can be very cool and copacetic with it when you're doing it. It doesn't have to be nothing too aggressive, too vicious, right? Be an adult about it. Like, listen, seeing that you did this, I explained to you that this was my boundary and you decided to do it anyway. I don't appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? We're cool, but I need you to respect that. And after you say that and they continue to do it, my honest opinion, just keep it pushing, right? Don't allow them to do it twice. I feel like one take is enough after you vocalize it. Some people will say, oh, give them another chance. That's between you and them. But my honest opinion, you got one time. You got one time. And that's it for me. Because I don't got time for it. We're grown. We're not kids. You know what I'm saying? I can understand if it's a child, but we're grown. You know what I'm saying? We understand words, and somebody say to not do something, and then you continue to do it. That's a problem. You lack comprehension. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a level of you that lack comprehension, and I really feel like a lot of times when people don't hear you when you say things, it's really their inner child fucking with you. Right? It's like the inner child take over, and it's like the little kid trying to play games with you. Like, am I the only one that think that shit? Because it feels like I'm not talking to the adult. I'm talking to the child that's attached to that adult. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. It's like yo, chill out. But no, it's feel like it's the little kid talking, just laughing at you, like, yeah, I'm fucking with you. You just want to like, yo, chill the fuck out. But maybe it's just me. But I feel like is that inner child that's really fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're fighting. It's like two inner childs fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like the inner child come out and you're fighting. You're telling them stop, and you feel like your inner child is coming out as that's happening. It's crazy. Like it feels like just two like the inner children, just like going back and forth with each other. You know what I'm saying? And one of the most important things before I get out of here, right? I hate that I have to keep repeating this shit, but I feel like I do because nobody's really listening when I say this shit. Stop explaining your no. Like I don't understand where we feel the need that we have to explain that shit. Like stop explaining that shit. Like 100%. And this is me being as honest as possible, taking the gloves off, right? Fuck the whole professional shit. Stop explaining your fucking no. It's no for a reason. It's a full sentence. No. No matter how you spin it, no matter how you look at it, it's no. The moment that you add something on top of that, no, no, but, no, and, no, but she or he, you don't believe that shit. You don't believe your own fucking no. You can't even stand firm on your own words. You lack the confidence to stand on the no. So when somebody tells you, when you say no, it's no. Period. That's it. There's nothing else behind that. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing else behind it. There's nothing else to give to that. There's nothing else to add to that. The answer is no, flat out. Don't need to explain shit. And if they're looking for an explanation, they better go ask God for that explanation because I'm not giving it to you. The fuck I look like giving you an explanation to my no? It's my boundary. The answer is no. Period. You can try to spin it how you want to spin it. Try to add whatever you want to add to it. Oh, we're family. Oh, we're friends. We're supposed to be cool. You're supposed to have my back. Nigga, I said no. I said no. The answer is no. Period. Like, you know what I'm saying? The answer is no. I don't even know. I don't even know why you think that I was finna explain that to you. The answer is no, and that's it. It's crazy how many people explain that shit. Like it really is. That shit is so bothersome. Like, you gotta explain no? Why the fuck are you explaining that? For what? And to who? Who's more important than that no? Nobody. Nobody. There's nobody more important than that no. You say no, the answer is no. That's it. That's it. Disengage. Okay? Move out the way. Because anybody that's asking you to explain or ask you why, they don't respect your boundary. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. Last part that I got for you guys. You got to choose peace, man. Choosing to be peaceful, choosing to be positive, choosing to regulate your peace is such a powerful way to build your confidence. Welcome in, everybody, by the way. I appreciate you guys for being here. So, choosing your peace, regulating your confidence, and regulating your peace is a powerful thing, right? If you want to see somebody that has a true level of confidence, find somebody that's at peace. Go sit with them for a day or two. See what their life is like. See how they don't engage in the chaos, how they don't engage in the bullshit. They don't engage in no drama. They don't engage in none of that shit. Like their life is just truly at peace. And that silence that they sit in, so powerful. A lot of people that don't do the work will be scared of sitting in the silence because it's boring. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to regulate it. It feels uncomfortable to them. But somebody that did the work, boof, let me tell you, that peace is beautiful. It's relaxing, it's calm, it's sweet serenity. You know what I'm saying? And they enjoy every second of it. And that person does not lack confidence, not even remotely. And some people be like, but they're isolating themselves. They're not isolating themselves. Isolating yourself, when you isolate yourself and you don't do the work, that's a problem. A person that did the work and that's at peace, it's not isolating themselves. They're regulating. That's the difference. They've already done the work. So they don't have to isolate. They just regulate. They know what spaces they should be a part of. They know what rooms they should be in. They know the places that they should be. They know the places that they shouldn't be in. They know these things. They're aware of these things, right? Don't Shouldn't we all want to be there? Be able to recognize these things that we shouldn't be a part of? I feel like we should all want to be there. I know I want to be there. I'm still working on that, right? I'm not all the way there yet. I'll be honest with y'all. But I feel like I'm in a better space than I was a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in such a good space mentally, emotionally. I'm actually getting there physically. I'm losing a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? So like everything is just doing everything is moving the way that it should, at the pace that it should move. And I'm not forcing it, right? I'm not forcing what I want on it. I'm just letting it be what it is. The moment I start forcing what I want on it is where things start to mess up. I'm just letting the universe do what it does best. Puts me in the places that I need to be, puts me in the positions that I need to be, put me in the spaces that I need to be. Excuse me. But overall, this is what needs to happen. There's a lot of things that need to be worked on. So, just to do a quick recap, when it comes to building your confidence, understand where the origin comes from, right? Take a deep dive into the things that you've been through in your life so that way you can understand them. Because the moment that you understand them, the moment that you can work on them, right? So, regulating that, understanding that, right? Being able to have healthy boundaries so that way your confidence can grow, right? Having more trust in yourself, not allowing anything external to falter that trust you have within yourself, right? Building some emotional discipline and not external validation. I'm going to say that again. Building emotional discipline and not external validation. Don't allow anybody outside of you to dictate who you are supposed to be and what your confidence level is supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? You know? And please, for the love of God, stop explaining your no. Stop doing it. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. It's not worth it. Doesn't do you any justice explaining it. Really doesn't do anything for you besides make you look like you have no boundaries. Keep that in mind. But I appreciate you guys for being here. If you guys were here, if you guys were watching from the YouTube or Facebook, I appreciate you. If you're watching the replay of this, please put a crown in the comments if you watched the replay of this. Make sure you guys are following me on all social platforms at King of Self Love on Instagram and YouTube, and Monumental Podcast on YouTube and Instagram, as well as Spotify. We do have the Spotify page up and running. So if you type in Monumental Podcast on Spotify and look for the brain with the sound waves, look at the brain with the sound waves, you will be able to find the podcast and you will be able to replay episodes that's posted on there. I am slacking a little bit, didn't post the last few episodes, but I will do that before the weekend comes because I know the holidays is around the corner. So I know everybody's going to be busy with Christmas and the kids and opening gifts and probably birthdays around the corner. Birthdays on Thursdays. So, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. So I'm going to do my best to try to get that out before the weekend. So that way you guys can go replay the audio or rewatch the video because we can actually post videos on Spotify now, which is dope. So if you prefer the video, I will post the video. If you prefer the audio, I'll post the audio, or I might just post both. You don't know. I might surprise you. But I do appreciate you guys for being here. Like I said, follow all the social media platforms. We have YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys also follow me on Twitch. Make sure you guys are following me on King of Self Love. No, Mind Your Mental on TikTok. Yes, my TikTok's still up and running. I haven't removed it yet. So make sure you guys follow me on TikTok as well. And 2026, man, we got a lot of things. We got a lot of things coming in 2026. So I appreciate you guys. In the world full of negativity, make sure y'all choose love and love on purpose. Keep life simple. Love is the glue. Respect is the flavor. You dig, you dig, you dig. Make sure y'all live within your value energy. And I pity the fool who doesn't mind their mental.